Hi, everyone. This is just a short talk about page forms state of the extension, although that's maybe a kind of a pretentious title. But so page forms was first released in 2007. As I said before, it was known until 3 years ago as Semantic Forms. Mostly written by me, although it's a massive extension and a lot of people have contributed, including some people in this room. Stefan Gomke is credited as a co-author because he wrote a lot of the JavaScript code and other stuff. There's a lot of people who've contributed. And I'm not going to say what it does but in this talk. I already said it, I guess. Yeah, so I just wanted to cover some recent additions starting in January 1st, 2018, just because there's always a lot of stuff being added or stuff being changed. So I thought it'd be interesting to just go over stuff that not everybody might know about. This is really cool, and it's sort of been alluded to a few times before. Page Forms now supports both TinyMCE and Visual Editor. So this is a contrived example. I just made up this form. But there's text areas here for early life and career. There's, you can't see it, but there's also Visual Editor on the free text. So basically, if you put editor equals Visual Editor and add that to any text area, then you'll get Visual Editor, which is really cool. There's no example for TinyMCE. TinyMCE is an alternate WYSIWYG editor. Originally, well, it's based on an open source library called TinyMCE. It was created by the people at Hollow Welt, aka Blue Spice in Germany. They called their TinyMCE-based extension Visual Editor, which is not a helpful name. So we took their code and I helped a little bit, and we repackaged it as TinyMCE and made some improvements. So anyway, so if you add editor equals TinyMCE, you can get something that's sort of like this, but it's just a different interface. But Visual Editor is the standard one that people like. So for TinyMCE, all you need is the extension called TinyMCE. For Visual Editor, you need to have Visual Editor installed and this other extension, VE for All, which was created by, well, it was based on something called VE for Page Form, and then expanded out and stuff. But all three of these can be found on MediaWiki.org, and they're all ready for use, I guess. That's it. No, what just happened? Oh, I pressed the wrong thing. I'm out. The second thing is this cool page called Special Multipage Edit, which is a feature some people have been asking about for a very long time, which is the ability to edit a bunch of pages at once from the same interface. This was done via Google Summer of Code project last year. So if you go to Special Multipage Edit, if you're using a recent version of Page Forms, you'll see a listing of a bunch of different templates on the wiki. If you click on any of them, you'll get a spreadsheet showing all the pages that call that template. So here's an example from discoursedb.org, which is a wiki I run. So if you click on the item one, these are all opinion items in newspapers and magazines and stuff. So yeah, you can go through all the pages, and then through all the pages, meaning screenfuls of pages, and each one of these holds like 50 or something pages. You've got the scroll bar. You can scroll through all of them. It's basically like a spreadsheet kind of thing. It uses a JavaScript library called JSGrid, and then so this represents a single call to the item template from within a single page. You can edit anything, including the page name itself, all from one place. So, for instance, if there's some specific change that you want made to a lot of pages at once, and it's not something simple like replacing a typo or whatever, then something like this can be really useful. And then I think as soon as you hit enter or click on the checkbox thing, it modifies that page. You can also use this to create new pages. If you click on the plus thing, I can't remember now if you can delete pages. But in any case, I think not that many people are using this, but it's something people should look into.
It has an X. Does that mean delete page?
No, it means cancel whatever changes you made to that row. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So in theory, you can even edit multiple templates within the same page. So you could have the same page name show up a bunch of times, and each one will have different data. In practice, I think that's is a little buggy, but you know, if it's something people start using more, I mean, it'll get fixed. That'll get fixed either way. Number 3, this is a very new feature. I mean, it's been around for a while, but it hasn't been officially released until the last version, which came out like a few weeks ago. Yeah, the question? Which one, the multi-page edit? Yeah, this is unrelated. Oh, I see. Yeah, no. Yeah, it is related because that's how it gets it knows the field type. Yeah, it works with both cargo and SMW. It's the same code that's used for main page forms to figure out the type of each thing. Yeah. Yeah, so this was only officially released like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or something. This actually came about through my work at Genesys. They had these very long sets of multiple instance templates, each one containing a lot of information. It was very hard to find a specific instance that you were looking for, because you really have to scroll through a huge amount of stuff. I don't know if everybody knows about multiple instance templates. Let's say you do. But basically, this looks like the previous interface. And this is also an example from DiscourseDB. I mean, the standard previous interface for multiple instance templates was that you would just have a bunch of things like this over and over for each instance of one template if you have more than one. But now, if it reaches above a certain size, they get minimized. So, well, this one doesn't have a topic, position, or stance, but once you entered something in, when it's minimized, then all you see is the values for those fields. So it's an easy way to find the specific thing you're looking for while not having to scroll through a ton of stuff. So right now, oh, did I put 80 pixels? That's incorrect. 800 pixels, yikes. But you can, and right now you can't, well, there's code that was just added to let you change that default, but it's not yet officially released, which is kind of a little annoying, but that'll come out soon. Okay, I think that's it for the features. There's been mostly it's just been a ton of bug fixes in the last year plus. Next planned feature I'm really looking forward to. Me, Eric, and I, Eric from NASA, and a third guy are going to be mentoring this thing. I don't know if everybody knows about the Google Summer of Code, but it's this incredible program where Google pays for people to do open source, do development with open source, major open source projects. So the Wikimedia Foundation is part of it every year. And there's almost always been something related to Enterprise MediaWiki in it. So yeah, so I mentioned special multi-page edit was done via that program, and we're gonna try to do one this summer also. It's very similar to a special multi-page edit, and I don't have a screenshot because it doesn't exist yet, but the idea is that you'll go to a calendar instead of a spreadsheet, and be able to click on some date and create a new event, or click on an event and pops up a form, and you can edit that one event. Yeah, I think that'll be really cool. Yeah, and again, it'll be really cool if it can support multiple different event types with color coding, so then it really can work like, any just standard calendar creation interface. I don't know what is a good Microsoft Outlook or something, I don't know. Yeah, just some random features. Some of these people have talked about for years, or I've talked about them for years, but an editable map would be cool too. And if there's time during the summer, if this student, 3 minutes left. If there's time, maybe we'll get to this too. Yeah, a map. That's cool. Formless forms. This is something I've thought about for a long time. I mean, you don't necessarily really need to have a form definition in order to have a form. If you know that a page needs to have a certain template call on it, then really you should be able to have a basic but fine working form created on the fly just based on the fact that it has that template or those templates. Yeah, there's a question. Yeah.
Is this something like what template data does with visual editor?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah. Although it would look like page forms. Yeah, the question is, Visual Editor provides its own kind of form interface for editing calls to templates. One advantage of page forms is it knows the structure ahead of time, but there are ways, especially with cargo, there are ways to specify, for a template to specify, I always go with this other template, or these are my children templates, or whatever. So once you have all of that in place, then a form could really know the entire structure of a page, at least in theory. Oh, I did it again. Okay. Integration with registration, I think this is the last one. There used to be an extension called Semantic Signup. I don't know if anybody used it. We've talked about it at Genesys, actually, about having something like this. The idea is when users register, it would be cool to also have them fill out whatever information is needed for their user page. So then you take care of it all at once. They register, they get their user page, and everything's all nice and structured. So yeah, that would be cool to have also. I think that's it. Anybody? We have 1 minute for questions, I guess.
Is there a plan for multi-instance fields, like multi-instance templates, but it's just the same field, but then you increment that index as the value for the template?
Do you know about the tokens input type?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that may or may not be what you're looking for.
I need to do like team 1, dates 1, role 1, team 2, dates 2, role 2.
Oh, no, you have to do a multiple instance template for that. You can't like have a cram more than one value into a field, although people have tried doing that, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Okay. I can just repeat the question right after, yeah. Okay.
So I run into issues when trying to put page forms using the syntax. The default form is whatever the form I want to call. When I place it on a page, whether it's on a template or just on the page itself, I have to refresh the page a couple times for it to pop up that edit with form button. Is there something I'm doing wrong on my end, or is there anything you can do to help me?
I've heard of that problem happening. I guess I'd have to look at it. There may be, I don't know, maybe a way to fix it. I don't know.
Yeah, which
that's
version
probably
of
what it
Semantic
is.
MediaWiki?
Yeah. It might be just waiting. Yeah. You might need, if you run like something
Semantic
that calls
MediaWiki 3.0
jobs,
might
or
fix
just
that.
get jobs to run faster.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect timing. Okay, thank you.